Today, we're going to be talking about an Indianapolis Colts player that is not getting the attention he deserves. And if you bring him up at your next football party, I guarantee your friends will think you're a genius for pointing him out because he has been playing fantastic and he has the potential to be a star in the making. We're going to talk about that up next here on No Buts About It. All right, everyone. Welcome to No Buts About It. I am Josh Butts. If you could do me a huge favor real quick and hit that subscribe button. You know I got to hit you with the obligatory subscribe petition. We're at 425 subscribers. I would love to hit 500 by the end of the month. A little Halloween gift for myself from you guys. If you want to wait till the end of the video just to decide, that's great too. But please just consider subscribing and getting that number up. So without further ado, let's talk about Samuel Womack III. Now, Samuel Womack III is a guy who really hasn't received a ton of media attention. Not a lot of people have looked at him. And to be honest, I didn't notice him until last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then with the Titans game this past Sunday, he just really stood out to me. I was paying attention to him a bit more. And I've seen some people start to murmur about him online, but we're still not getting big attention. So let's find out where Samuel Womack III came from, and then we'll talk about how he has done with the Indianapolis Colts. We'll look at some film as well. So Samuel Womack III was drafted by the San Francisco 49ers in the 2022 draft, the 5th round of that draft, out of the University of Toledo. And at the University of Toledo, he led the MAC in passes defended between 2019 and 2021, and he led Toledo in interceptions in 2021. The reason he fell primarily, from what I understand, from what I researched and saw from his old draft profiles, from old YouTubers talking about him, and again, this isn't a guy who I prospected, and I feel like it's kind of unfair to look at him in his NFL career and then be like, that's the reason he fell. But looking at old articles about him and talking about him as a prospect, he primarily fell due to his size. A lot of articles said, hey, he is a great coverage guy, but you know what? He's not even going to be able to go up against these big, tall NFL wide receivers because he's just so short. Now, how short is he? I don't know. Because if you go to NFL.com, it says one thing. If you go to ESPN, it says one thing. The Colts website says he's 5'11", but his draft profiles say he's 5'9". So maybe he has grown 2 inches in the last 2 years. I doubt it, but his height is all over the place. Like I said, Colts website says 5'11". I'm going to guess it's closer to 5'9" because 5'11" is a reasonable height for a corner. He's also 189 pounds. That was pretty consistent across the board. So short, let's just say 5'9", short guy. He has huge arm length for his size, though. 32-inch arms. To put that in perspective, that's about the same length as Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman is 6'3", so he has about the arm length of a 6'3" man, possibly being as short as 5'9". But that shortness also allows him to do something else very well, and that is run quickly. He had a 4.39 40, and I think his size definitely contributed to that. Less weight to move around, you're able to go faster. So he's on the 49ers now. What do? And we play him in the preseason like you do most rookies, late round draft pick rookies. 5th round pick, going into preseason, see what you got. And he did great. 49ers fans were super excited about this guy. Again, you can go back and watch these videos. They're talking about, we got a steal in this draft. He's doing amazing. We're going to have another lockdown corner on an already great 49ers defense. D'Amico Ryans was the defensive coordinator. And it was just, they were ecstatic about this guy. And then all of a sudden, 2 years later, he's getting cut from the team. So what happened? Well, in 2022, he had 16 games, started in 1, 15 tackles, 11 solo, 1 tackle for loss, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. Not bad for a guy who's a backup, who's buried on the depth chart. 2023, he gets a knee injury, though, at the beginning of the season. And, you know, isn't able to play a lot, only has 3 solo tackles across 7 games, and he becomes this borderline player. And this is this is the same fans that were super excited about Samuel Womack just a year before. 2 years later, they're saying, hey, he might be on the cut line, and he was. He said in his interview when he came to Indianapolis that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch called him into their office and said, like, hey, we know we appreciate everything you've done for us, but there's just not enough spots to keep you on the team, and we're sorry about that. And what I loved is he said that put a fire in his soul, like a fire in his heart. And he said, I'm never going to be cut again. And I think that's why we're seeing the version of him that we are with the Indianapolis Colts, because he's so motivated to prove the 49ers wrong, to prove the hate, what he views as haters, wrong. So we're getting this great version, this motivated version of him. And he really kind of came into the best situation he could with the Indianapolis Colts. And the Colts weren't the only team to claim him on waivers. He was claimed by the Colts on August 28th of 2024, just one day after being waived. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles both tried to claim him as well. The Colts won the waiver battle. But now he's in Indianapolis. We're getting closer to the present. We're getting closer to today. So Samuel Womack is in Indianapolis. How does he get the start, or how does he get put into the game so quickly? Well, second round pick Juju Brents he was second round pick in 2023. Was injured in the season opener and hit IR. Dallas Flowers struggled in camp, and that carried over into the regular season. Dallas Flowers was probably also on a very short leash due to those camp struggles, because he was pretty quickly cut, and now he's in Tampa Bay. So Womack's size is the exact opposite of Juju Brent and Dallas Flowers. Juju Brent's is 6'3", 198 pounds. Dallas Flowers is 6'1", 196 pounds. And as a reminder, Womack is about 5'9" to 5'11", if the Colts website is to be trusted, 189 pounds. He's actually a lot closer to another Colts fan favorite, Kenny Moore, who is 5'9", 190 pounds. So Moore plays slot corner. Samuel Womack, putting him in slot corner would probably work out really well. And Womack has said he likes to play slot. He also likes to play outside. I think that Womack fits into the slot corner position a lot better, just because of his height, because of his physical attributes. But Kenny Moore has that locked down. No one's going to steal that job from Kenny Moore. Anyone who's watched the Indianapolis Colts knows that. Kenny Moore is one of the best slot corners, if not the best slot corner in the NFL. So Womack's playing outside. And admittedly, he is not going up against as difficult competition as Jalen Jones. However, let's just look at some of his stats that we've seen so far. Now, there are 3 games. He's appeared in every game except for week 1 so far. There were 3 games where he had a 70% snap total, though. So those are the games I'm focusing on. He has 11 targets across those games and 3 receptions allowed for a total of 21 yards allowed. So those are great numbers. He's locking down his guys. Quarterbacks aren't throwing to him, and when they aren't completing passes. So that is great. The passer rating he has allowed in 2 games, which was against the Titans and the Steelers, led by Justin Fields. So Will Levis and Justin Fields, 39.6 was their passer rating against him. There is an outlier across those 3 games. He allowed a 58.3 passer rating against Trevor Lawrence. So we're going to look at some mistakes that Womack made across those 3 games, but I still think once he cleans some stuff up, he's going to be a star in the making. So before we get into the film, some stuff to look for that I think the film will show anyway. He is quick to the ball, and he wants to make plays, sometimes to his detriment, sometimes as a benefit. He gets going quick. We talked about he has that speed. He is a fast guy, but sometimes he gets going so fast that these wide receivers are a bit more agile, or they know the direction they're going, so they're able to turn quicker. And Womack slips. He gets his feet lost from under him. That was another thing that appeared in his draft profile as a weakness. Just something he needs to work on, hopefully, with some agility drills. He also at times abandons his spot in the defense. And I think it's because he looks to wide receivers for clues of what they're going to do, which is smart and works most of the time. But we are going to look at a game against the Titans where that kind of backfired in a play. So let's pull that up right now, see what we've got here. So Samuel Womack. And this first play, I've got the little look at this arrow there for you. He's at the top there. And this is against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So first of all, the pass has been completed. And Samuel Womack could easily stop him here. Easy tackle to prevent him from getting the first down. But instead, he slips. And if you didn't notice that, we'll go back here just a little bit. Womack's going to come down on him after the catch, and he slips and falls. And another, I'm not sure who that is, but another safety has to come down and complete the tackle, but they get the first down. So that's something, that losing your feet type thing that we talked about. This next play against the Jaguars, we're going to see a Samuel Womack down here at the bottom. He is going to, and mind you, there's only 3 plays where it said he allowed a reception. So that's why I only have 3. But Samuel Womack's down here at the bottom. And this wide receiver is going to run a hitch route, and it's going to get Womack again, just because he's playing too far off of the receiver. So just watch it. See, he starts to go back before the snap, and he's way too far from the receiver. Now, I will give him, he pays attention and immediately comes down and makes the tackle, minimizing the yards after catch. But I feel like if he would have played closer to the receiver, if he would have stayed up by the line, he definitely would have been able to break up that pass, as we have seen him do multiple times. Now, okay, this final one, this is in my opinion the biggest sin, I guess, against Samuel Womack, and this goes to that abandoning the play. So what happens here is, again, he's down here at the bottom. Look at this arrow. And this is Calvin Ridley, who Samuel Womack was on all day against the Titans, pretty much. And Calvin Ridley had a miserable day. Part of that was because Will Levis stares down his receivers, and Samuel Womack does a very good job of watching that. He had quite a few pass breakups right at the catch point that were just amazing. But this play, he misses. Calvin Ridley's going to go into motion here, and that causes Womack to just drop back. So now he's back here by the 20, just past the 20-yard line. And this tight end is in the flat. If you watch the tight end here, he's going to come. Watch this tight end here on the near side of the line. He's lined up in line right now, but he's going to pull. He's going to come off, run across the flat, and Womack isn't there. But again, Womack comes down and, to his credit, takes down a guy who is a lot bigger than him. But if Womack had stayed where he was, again, he could have made that pass breakup. But the motion from Ridley causes him to drop back and go to cover Tyler Boyd, who was already covered. There was no reason for Samuel Womack to drop back and cover Tyler Boyd. So just some inexperience, some things like that. But really, he is doing a fantastic job of breaking up passes. There was one play, and I couldn't find a video of it, but I remember watching it during the game. Maybe you can go find it in a highlight somewhere. But he abandons his cover. I think they were in cover 3. He abandons his play, runs across the field, and hits Calvin Ridley right at the catch point to basically break up the play. And Calvin Ridley, I don't think, had a single catch against the Titans. Or against the Colts, excuse me. So overall, Samuel Womack did a great job, but those are just some things I wanted to highlight that he needs to work on. But again, they're so minimal. They're like little things. He adjusts quickly. I really like what he said in his interviews. If you haven't watched his interviews from when he came to the Indianapolis Colts, I strongly recommend you go watch those after this video on YouTube. He describes himself as a press corner, loves man-to-man coverage. That's what we've seen from watching the Indianapolis Colts games. And that motivation, that never going to get cut again mentality. I hope he maintains that, and I hope he doesn't get comfortable on this team and just kind of relax again, because he seems like a great dude, and he's a guy that I think Indianapolis Colts fans are going to love having around for a long time, at least in a backup capacity. Maybe he earns himself the starting job. I don't know. We have a small sample size, but he is someone to watch. Again, number 33, Samuel Womack on the Indianapolis Colts. So once again, I am going to appeal for you to subscribe to this channel. I would appreciate it so much. We work hard to put out as much as we can. We have full-time jobs, so it's not always easy, but we appreciate those who have subscribed. Please remember to like, share, and comment. And until next time, go do something nice for someone.